What I have here today is the GL63 from MSI. This is one of their more value-oriented laptop, and what I got here today is the 8SE variant, which features an 8th Gen i7-8750H and an RTX 2060 GPU. So I've been using this laptop for the past 2 weeks as a replacement to my older notebook, and I'm here today to share to you my experience and thoughts. But before I go to that, let's talk about its specs and features. And also, by the way, huge shout out to MSI for lending me this unit right here. Again, this is the MSI GL63 8SE, which is a part of their more mainstream laptops that include a good number of configuration. MSI has a huge range of notebook lineup, and if you are not familiar with their naming scheme, here's a quick run through of it. Basically, the GL is part of their naming series. Then the 6 is the display size, so 6 having a 15.6-inch screen. 3 meaning that this is their third generation of laptop. The second set of letters mainly describes the configuration of the laptop. 8 means that this is running on Intel's 8th generation of CPU, while the S moniker stands for Nvidia's Turing architecture, and lastly, the E stands for the GPU model, which in my case is the RTX 2060. Going back to our laptop, the GL63 measures 383mm by 260mm and is 29.5mm thick. This unit weighs in 2.3 kilograms, though not the lightest out there, but is still light enough to be carried around. Most of its body are made out of plastic, but don't be alarmed as this feels totally sturdy and look premium enough despite the material used on it. The top has a clean, smooth finish, and at the center of it is the MSI Red Dragon logo, which lights up when the laptop is on. This model that I have features an Intel i7-8750H, 8GB of DDR4 memory running at 2666MHz, an RTX 2060 for its GPU, and a 512GB Kingston NVMe SSD. I/O selection is plenty as this thing has 3 USB Type-A 3.1 Gen 2 ports, 1 on the left and 2 on the right, an SD slot, a killer gigabit E2400 Ethernet LAN, 2 display input, 1 HDMI and 1 mini DP, a Type-C 3.1 Gen 2, and lastly a dedicated headphone and microphone jack. A 720p webcam is positioned on the top of the screen, and quality is a bit like this. As you can see, this is your standard 720p webcam, and probably not the best and a little bit grainy, especially on low light. But for those Skype calls, this is definitely okay, but don't expect for some streaming when, for example, gaming. There are 4 exhaust ventilation that can be found both on the sides and at the same time at the back of the laptop. This should be enough to keep the hot air out of the system. Keyboard is from SteelSeries, and I personally enjoyed it as the travel distance are perfect for me, and the keys itself doesn't feel too mushy at all. And generally, it's a nice keyboard to type on. There is a bit of flex on the keyboard body, but unless you're mashing the keys out, this shouldn't be a problem at all. The keys itself are all individually illuminated in red, and brightness can be adjusted through their function key. Trackpad on the other hand is okay, but not as nice as compared to the keyboard. It uses Synaptics drivers and I got no problem using it. The touchpad buttons feels a bit cheap with the plasticky clicks feel, but the biggest problem that I'm really annoyed with is the trackpad placement. Unless you're going to disable the trackpad every time you'll be typing, the thumb part of your palm will touch the trackpad and will do unnecessary taps or mouse movement. Display of the GL63 8SE features a 60Hz matte IPS panel. That means colors are gonna be vibrant. The colors doesn't get too washed out even on extreme angles, and even though I can't measure the brightness of the screen, I can say that at max brightness, the monitor itself can be used even on a sunny day. And since currently I lack the tools to test a monitor or a screen, I can't provide response times, sRGB and ARGB results. Unfortunately, I was not able to open this laptop as this is a media unit, and instead I'll rely on ultrabookreview.com's image for reference. So we can see that there are plenty of storage options for this model, It supports a single 2.5-inch storage and two M.2 drive slot where it both supports PCIe Gen 3 by 4 NVMe drive, while only one of those supports SATA-based M.2. Memory is also not soldered, and instead we have two slots with a max capacity of 32 gigs of DDR4 memory. We also have the Wi-Fi card here and two 3-watt bottom firing speakers, while not in the best position, still manages to sound loud and crisp. Seven copper heat pipes are used in order to transfer the heat away from our CPU and GPU, while two intake fans are located on the side that should help in dissipating the heat away from our laptop. A 51 watt per hour battery is positioned near the back exhaust, and I was able to squeeze a 2-hour worth of YouTube videos. Not the best for a portable machine, but I guess this should be expected in more powerful notebooks. And by the way, the charger for this is a 180 watt power brick. Gaming is great on this laptop as the 6-core 12-thread Intel CPU paired with Nvidia's latest RTX GPU are an awesome pairing. It can easily handle most games over 60 FPS at max settings with a few exceptions on some newer titles. Production tasks are also covered by this laptop as the 8750H can run most workloads easily. The CPU will do a single core boost of 3.9 GHz when needed, while a 2.7 to 3 GHz all-core boost are to be expected from the CPU while keeping the temps under 80 degrees Celsius on a 30 degrees Celsius ambient room temp. And since we are talking about temperatures, let me discuss the thermals of this laptop. Surprisingly, this is the strong point of the GL63 as I was able to maintain good temps for both the CPU and GPU while gaming, thanks to MSI's Cooler Boost 5 technology. Max CPU temps are just 80 degrees Celsius while GPU temps only peaks at 77 degrees Celsius with a max turbo of 1770 MHz for no OC and a 1860 MHz for MSI's turbo mode, which I'll be discussing more on that later. Pumping the fan speed to max reduces our temps by 5 to 7 degrees while reaching higher clocks with the only trade-off being the fan noise. Luckily, MSI decided to have a dedicated button for maxing out the fan speed, making our lives easier and cooler. Noise level at auto are not whisper quiet but on a manageable level, and maxing it out is definitely audible, but if you're like me that uses headphones when gaming, then this shouldn't be a problem at all. The included NVMe storage here is from Kingston, and I'm getting a 1500 megabytes per second on its sequential read, while a 1000 megabytes per second for the sequential writes. Not the fastest among NVMe drives, but way faster than your standard SATA-based SSD. In the software side of things, MSI's Dragon Center has a couple of neat features such as system monitoring, adjustment of both fan speed, as well as clock tuning for our GPU. The RTX 2060 in the GL63 has a pre-overclock settings of 100 MHz more core clock and 200 MHz more on the memory clock. And unless your unit really suffers from high temperature, it would be the best to leave the pre-OC settings alone as you're getting free performance gain for a very small temperature trade-off. As for the pricing, the GL63 8SE comes with a local MSRP of 99,995 Philippine peso, but since it's the holiday season, MSI is having an end-of-year sale where you can get this for as low as 89,995 Philippine peso with a free MSI loot box. In summary, the laptop performs great with good thermals, and the only things that I don't like about this laptop are the trackpad placement and that the monitor only runs at 60 Hz. Because the RTX 2060 GPU can easily run past 60 FPS in a lot of games. And I think that is all for today's video. If you like it, go hit the thumbs up and also do subscribe to my channel for more laptop reviews like this. Once again, huge shout out to MSI Philippines for allowing me to review this laptop. And at the same time, go check my Facebook page as I'll be doing a holiday giveaway in a few days. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.